wammwe yennyini yali abeera wano nga temumukkiririzaamu. Naye ne nzija kubanga nze nali musinkanye era nga nkakasa nti abantu basobola okutereera, abantu basobola okukyuka. Ng'emyaka yeesibyewo emyaka mingi nga muganya omulonda, nenze nga musuntunulira nga motoka yasoma. Ne nzija wano nga mukyawakana naye kubanga mwalimu nesiga. Abayaye ne bantwala mu zigeto ne bantwala mu freestyle ghetto. Ne bagamba gwe Bobi tukwesiga naye omuntu gw'otuleetedde storage ne bagamba mumwesige ku lwange.
Stop blackmailing Bobi Wine. And even him, he should stop reckless talk. I heard him in Bujiri the other day blackmailing Basalirwa. That, oh, Basalirwa, we did what? Now he's there eating in the iPod and this and that and this and that. That's not necessary. In fact, since we don't have a candidate in Bujiri municipality, I think I'll propose that DP should go and campaign for Basalirwa. We need him in that parliament. He's a solid person.
Omusumba ye n'asaba n'agamba bagawugule gagende wakumuluma 13
era mbyagalira ne president wange
betwasaba bajje batusabire tebakoze eki tebalabise
tugenda kwekalakasa paka eza paka kulira
najja wano nga nze campaigningira mukwano gwange. Najja wano tuwuliziganye, najja wano nali nakayingira mu politics nga munneesize kubanga abapolitician baali babalimbye ebbanga ddene nga nekyali wammwe yennyini yali abeera wano nga temumukkiririzaamu. Naye ne nzija kubanga nze nali musinkanye era nga nkakasa nti abantu basobola okutereera, abantu basobola okukyuka. Ng'emyaka yeesibyewo emyaka mingi nga muganya omulonda, nenze nga musuntunulira nga motoka yasoma. Ne nzija wano nga mukyawakana naye kubanga mwalimu nesiga. Abayaye ne bantwala mu zigeto ne bantwala mu freestyle ghetto. Ne bagamba gwe Bobi tukwesiga naye omuntu gw'otuleetedde storage ne bagamba mumwesige ku lwange. Ne muntuuza wansi ne mundayiza. Ne tuvaawo ne tugenda ku Obama. Ne tuvaawo ne tudda ku ghetto gye bayita Kamwokya wane Bujiri. Era ne mutuwagira njagala okubeebaza. Bingi nnyo bye twayitamu. Muganda waffe gwe bayita Sumani Walyendo yafiiraawo. N'abalala bangi nnyo. Kyannaku bikyali waffe. Kyannaku nnyo kito tutamutegeera. Endagaano gy'embeera n'omuntu yenna kwe kuyimirira ku mazima ate nga amazima ago tugayimirirako ku lwatu. Era bw'ova ku mazima ago bw'ogwa mu nsobizo weekaabire Asumani tukaabira.
We need to look at what DP has always been talking about, proportional representation, so that we have a parliament of a reasonable size. Even the districts are too many. When I was elected an MP, we had 39 districts. I don't know whether you people remember that. We had 39 districts. Now we have more than tripled. We need devolution. Not all power should be in Kampala. We need decisions to be made at the lower levels. For instance, if this Rubaga here is given its budget for roads, you don't have to go and demonstrate against President Museveni. You go and demonstrate against your mayor. We must decentralize power, and the model that we can do now is the one of Kenya. There are many victims of the wars we have had in Uganda. We need to find a way of compensating the victims in a non-discriminatory manner. Some of us even think military service should be compulsory. I think it will discipline the youth. You know, military life disciplines you because you develop a routine. And in exchange, you get free university education. If after finishing S6, you go and do military service for 2 to 3 years, afterwards the state now pays for you. You come back when you are fit, you come back when you are strong, but you remain a reserve in the army until the age of 55. And you will have a number. When there's a war to be fought, you will be called and taken for refresher course, then deployed in the front line. Who do you want to die for you? You who is here. Who do you think was born to die for you? My father was a soldier. One of my sons is going in there. So who do you think? We must be ready to die for our country. I see some of you shaking your head when I'm talking about. Who do you think your job is only to blog? No, no, no. Pick up your gun and go and say, we are chasing you back. Who do you think was born to die for you? This is our country. We must all sacrifice for it. Now, in fighting corruption, we are proposing the establishment of what we call Stolen Assets Recovery Tribunal. There are many things that have been stolen in this country. There must be a system of recovering them. In Kenya, the other day, you saw the assets of a certain governor are being auctioned. If you hear tomorrow that Mao has a tall building in the middle of Kampala, and you know my salary, surely you should ask, how did he get it? So soon, the stolen assets will start declaring their owners. If the owners are not declaring their assets, the assets will declare them. Then we will know. We have forever been proposing a parliamentary system of government. Right now it is not popular, but we have our reasons. We want an executive head of the government who goes to parliament every day to defend the policies. Not to have what we call an imperial presidency, who is so high up there, almost untouchable and not accountable. You rather have a ceremonial president, and then you have a working chief executive who must account to parliament. That is our belief. When we say it, as usual, because all of you in this country, all you are thinking is centered around President Museveni. There will one day come a day when the President Museveni is not there. So then your politics will end, because it is only around one man. For us, DP, our politics is based on our beliefs. By 1954, we didn't know about any of your confusion. We stated our objectives and launched our party. Even the cabinet needs to be reduced. Those are proposals that DP has. We are proposing what now you could call PDM. We called it conditional cash transfer. There are people who are very vulnerable in our society. There is nothing wrong with giving them some cash, but that cash cannot just be for free. You must change your behavior. Number one, you must enroll your children in school. In fact, those are conditions which should be put even in PDM. If you are asking for PDM money, but you are not even taking your children to a UPE school, then you are not worthy of support. You must not be an alcoholic or an abuser of drugs. Those are conditions. So before you receive PDM money, you stop alcoholism. But the Ugandans are so arrogant, one day they even told the First Lady that PDM means that personal drinking money. How do you talk like that? That no, this money is personal drinking money. Who told you this? This is Ugandan money. More than $1 trillion. And now President Museveni is increasing it to 3 trillion every financial year. Now, some of you, of course, who have money, 3 million or maybe $1 million appears like it is very small. But I've seen what $1 million can do when it is given to the right person. The cost of electricity needs to be handled. And finally, we are happy that the amalgamation is on course. Because previously there was UEB, Uganda Electricity Board. Then UEB was split into three: generation company, transmission company, then distribution company. All those are centers of profit and they want to milk you. So the generation company milks you, the transmission company milks you, then the distribution company also milks you. When now you amalgamate it all, then the milker will only be one. And that will bring down the cost of electricity. And of course, the investments that have been made to increase the megawatts. We need a national health service, which is anchored by a national health insurance scheme. All children below the age of 5 must get free treatment anywhere. And all those who are senior citizens, that is above the age of 70, should get free treatment. Young people who marry and marry young and they commit to start a family will get a very low interest mortgage. It will protect property rights of men and women, because if you are in your 20s, like my young friend there, you decide to get married to your sweetheart, your marriage certificate is an important document. You'll get a land title with both your names, because that is how to promote equality also. That is your matrimonial home. And you can pay the mortgage over a 20-year period, because the money you pay will be so small, the installments. Those are ways of encouraging the institution of marriage and also encouraging what we call home ownership. The other proposal which we made as DP in the 80s is to find another administrative capital city for Uganda. Kampala remains a commercial city. Some of you think New York is the capital of America. It is not. Capital of America is Washington, D.C. Some of you think that Florida is the capital of the state, or I mean Miami. You think Miami is the capital of the state of Florida. It is not. It is actually a city called Tallahassee, which you have never heard of. What do you think is the capital of the state of California, the richest state in America? Some of you will say Los Angeles, San Francisco. No way. It is a small city called Sacramento. So when you have people who think upside down, then they think that the Bizimbe is what makes a capital city. The Tanzanians made that tough decision and moved away from Dar es Salaam and went to Dodoma. Now there's a super highway between Dar es Salaam and Dodoma. In Nigeria, everybody knew Lagos. They turned it into a commercial city and moved the capital to Abuja. Even in Uganda, we can find a place somewhere in the center of Uganda and acquire square miles and square miles of land and start a foundation for a capital city to administer this country. These are ideas of DP, because some of you may think because we don't have a presidential candidate, we don't have a manifesto. Manifesto means what you manifest. So manifesto is not a list of promises. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this. Manifesto means that the values you manifest. For instance, if I believe that all human beings are equal, that's my manifesto. And then the programs flow from that belief. If all human beings are equal, that means they must have equal access to health services, to education. But people think a manifesto is a shopping list. I'll build this road, I'll build this market, I'll put Nikon to there, that's not a manifesto. Manifesto is about the things that you believe. Like the manifesto of Christians It's just three things. It is there, I believe that Jesus came, he died, and he will come back. And it is that hope of his return, which is our manifesto. And we know that when he comes, he will balance the books. If you have stolen even one crystal of sugar from Mao and you're hiding it, that person who knows justice will come and get that crystal from you and bring it back. So don't confuse people. Manifesto ye iriwa. Manifesto, now you have our manifesto here. We are going to publish it so that you members of parliament can have something to talk, because many of you talk about things which don't concern you. You now go, you're a member of parliament, you tackle a topic which is very, way deep, really. You see, it is like you are Owesaza, but you are talking about the budget of the Lukiko. Really, why don't you tell the member of Lukiko to come and talk about it? Your area is just, you are supposed to deal with Bulungi Bwansi. You make sure the Luwalo to go and put resources in the basket of the king so that the king can implement programs. But now you want to go and talk about the relationship between Buganda and the central government. Sure, Owesaza? Really, Owesaza, that's not for you. So, if you are from Gombolola, they say the word Gombolola, you cannot talk about that. So these are our very, very solid ideas which we believe in, and we invite Ugandans to embrace the Democratic Party and also fight the spirit of blackmail and intolerance. The reason I talked a lot about this iPod thing is because you people are blackmailing people. Stop blackmailing Bobi Wine. And even him, he should stop reckless talk. I heard him in Bujiri the other day blackmailing Basalirwa. That, oh, Basalirwa, we did what? Now he's there eating in the iPod and this and that and this and that. That's not necessary. In fact, since we don't have a candidate in Bujiri municipality, I think I'll propose that DP should go and campaign for Basalirwa. We need him in that parliament. He's a solid person. And to make it appear as if signing the iPod MOU is a crime, then why are you asking to sign it yourself? Isn't that total madness? You go to Bujiri, you see a crowd. You know there are people who get drunk on crowds. The moment they see a crowd, it is like alcohol. They just say anything just because there is cheer. The best rally is the rally where people are quiet and are listening to the issues. But when you go there, hey, now like this, Basalirwa, the other day we fought for him. He has become an MP. We were embarrassed when again he went and signed the iPod MOU. Meanwhile, your Secretary General is begging to come and sign that same MOU. So why do you go there to? So I'm going to Bujiri to explain to the voters of Bujiri what this thing is about. We must protect those who are tiptoeing towards consensus. They are blackmailing Mpuga. What? You find they have set up fake accounts on Twitter, Mpuga Yalia, what? All of them are eating. So what's the problem? The leader of opposition has a convoy like that of the prime minister. Is that a problem? Why are they not talking about it? And he's busy, he's even moving in a government car to go and campaign, using government fuel to go and campaign. So we are going to bust them, because the time has come to speak the truth about those who are telling lies to us. Avubuka. That is really where Uganda is. So don't be surprised by the behavior of some of these politicians. It is because people are doing okuwaga. In Luganda they say kaliba kasajja akulisa engo. Someone comes and praises you. You are the toughest hunter ever since. I don't know who has been the greatest hunter in Buganda. Musajja Alumbwa. Eh? Dungu. That you are actually number 2 to Dungu. Gwe twakalabyeko. Era gwe musika wa Dungu. Ngayika. Then you go there and you meet an angry buffalo. And there will be a funeral in your village. Kaliba kasajja kuliisa engo. So Ugandans, stop it. Even those of you who are in DP, you see, the difference between me is the DPs make noise, but I'm the leader. My responsibility, in fact, if I make a bad decision, if ever I'm supposed to go to hell, there'll be a special compartment for me, the hottest one. Because God will say, you were the chief executive of DP. You were leading people. Why did you allow foot soldiers to influence you? Are they the ones who he lifted the Bible and took the oath? Even with President Museveni, when he made the choice now to talk peace to the rebels, there were people who were opposed, they refused. There's one general who he had to order to go to Juba. Even when he reached Juba, he put dark glasses. That's my brother, General Tema. He didn't want to hear about the Juba. He thought it was a big joke. Even when he sat there, he was pointing his shoulders to the chairman of the peace talks, Dr. Riek Machar. Because he's a combatant. So we understood his feeling. The soldiers that had died under his command, those whose legs are amputated, the widows, the orphan. So when somebody talks, understand where they are standing and where they are coming from. But President Museveni stuck to his decision and said, let the peace talks continue. So what Uganda needs is just leadership. And that's what we are doing here in DP. We hear a lot of noise. They come and drop pigs here. They do what? But that is nothing. We are at the time of Moses when you say Canaan is where we are going. Whether we are going to eat one meal a day, whether we are going to sleep hungry for days, that is where we are going. Whether some of us arrive there or not, but our job is to point the direction fearlessly and command our people to go there. And of course, as we move, some people keep dropping out. But those who drop out, eventually we hear them chasing after us. Wait, we are also now on the way. And we hear them. There are those who had misbehaved. I thought I should stress that point, that the new Uganda must be made out of a new consensus, and that new consensus will be spearheaded by leaders who are not afraid to take unpopular decisions. The fact that you are many does not mean you are right. And the fact that you are few does not mean you are wrong. In that parliament, I and Honorable Mara Tubo wrote a minority report. I'll share it with you. It's a document I'm very proud of. Everything we put in that report was rejected by parliament. But as I talk now, everything that was rejected has been implemented. It means if you feel in your heart that you are right, stand firm. But now you have leaders who are not standing firm. So I will hold consultations as chairman of the IPOD summit and see whether there is a possibility of convening an extraordinary summit so that these Ugandans can move with the rest of the citizens and leaders. It's not a big deal, but you people, you make it appear like it's a big deal. That's why sometimes I like Trump. Americans used to talk about North Korea. When you hear about North Korea, you think that is Gehenna. Trump said, I'm going to Gehenna if that's the case. And he crossed into North Korea, the first American president ever. Did he die? He didn't. He shook hands with Kim Jong-un, who had been accused of mass murder, of what, starving his people. He said, if it will bring peace in this Korean peninsula, so be it. And now he's on the case of this Hamas and so on. He has been tough on Israel, saying, no. Stop bombing Gaza. That's leadership. People are there holding demonstrations, what? He says that is where we should go. That is the spirit of Christopher Columbus when he was sailing to America. His sailors were rioting. There was a mutiny on the ship. He said, sail on until they reached land. So, we must know what are the ingredients of leadership. Let me tell you about the fourth one, is ending corruption. I don't need to elaborate. And the fifth, shared prosperity. I've named 5. Servant leadership, reconciling Uganda, a new consensus, ending corruption, shared prosperity. Now, to the youth of Uganda, you do not know the good life ahead of you. There is such a good life awaiting Uganda that those of us who are now almost 60 years old, we are a bit envious of the Uganda that you young people are going to enjoy. For many years, our president was moving very slowly on the oil fields. His position was, until we are ready with the laws that can protect our oil, with the infrastructure that can facilitate export, like the pipeline, with the credible partners to pump the oil out of the ground, and until we also have a refinery, so that finally we can move straight from the oil fields, refine, and bring to our petrol stations, so that we have cheap petrol and diesel, kerosene, and even jet fuel. His policy was, our oil is safer under the ground until we have created the conditions for it to benefit Uganda. People criticized him. Why is the oil delaying? Why is this? Now he has been proved right. Now, in about 2 years, the oil is going to start coming out in huge quantities. This so-called national debt you are talking about, Uganda will now become a country that lends money to others. We will no longer be borrowing. When now we are having a meeting, we will now be negotiating with people who are asking, mutusalire ku interest. But right now it is the reverse. We are the ones begging, please, the interest is too much, conditions are too tough. So you young people, don't be misled. Don't be misled. All this prosperity, you are the ones going to enjoy it so much. You are going to find that you are able to buy an apartment at very little interest, if not zero interest. You are going to find that you are going to have education. The state will be capable of unleashing all the infrastructure. These slums will be gone because there will be resources. So don't let anybody tempt you to think that your future is bleak. Your future is not bleak. I tell you because I know. And that's what they call shared prosperity. You go through a tough time, but for a better future. So let us not follow those who are sloganeering. Uganda is an extremely blessed country, but let's manage the politics. Because if the politics is wrong, even the economics will be wrong. And of course, our point number 1 was a government of national unity. I hope you people are seeing the grand coalition coming. It is actually shaping up. Some of you think we have 8 candidates. We don't have 8 candidates. We only have 2 competing belief systems. There are those who think if someone has been on a tree for long, they should bring an axe and cut down the tree. Then there are those of us who say, why cut down the tree? Let us fashion a ladder. That's the transitional program. So those who are down, who qualify to go up, can climb the ladder. And the one who is up, who must come down, can come down. But if I'm here threatening to throw you from on top of a tree so that you break your bones, I'll do everything possible to make it hard for you, if not impossible. And if you are coming with an axe to cut the tree, that is destruction. So the big consensus is building up. And those who are against consensus are being increasingly isolated in every sense of the word. The Constitution will require a second look. We need a national truth and reconciliation process so that we have healing. We have learned that we need presidential term limits, and it must be entrenched. I think Ugandans all agree on that now.
Omusumba ye n'asaba n'agamba bagawugule gagende wafunguma 13
era mbyagalire ne pulezidenti wange
betwasaba bajje batusabire tebakoze eki tebalabise
tugenda kwekalakasa paka ku 2